Howdy Earthlings, this video is just like all my other 5 furry video games that you should play videos, but with a sexy and erotic twist. Not for me though. All these games here are for those training in the art of gooning. All of these games are for adults and feature strong sexual themes. I don't show any nudity here, but if you look these up, you are guaranteed to see at least a titty or two. And I will be talking about adult subjects and talking about adult body parts. So there's your warning. So let's watch some cute cats playing for a minute. Alright, that should be long enough. I can say cock now. For the scholars. Corruption of Champions 2. I remember when the first one was being worked on back when Flash was still supported. You'd pop into E621, type Flash into the search to see the good stuff, then bam, text-based adventure game. In the game, you'd play a text-based, choose-your-own-adventure style game where you'd encounter a variety of seemingly random scenarios. One adventure, you're getting bullied by minotaurs, and others, you're getting your bones jumped by a crazed gobliness. It was essentially an erotic roleplay session, but played with a computer instead of another human. This was made way before AI too, so it was really impressive how many scenarios and responses that the game had programmed in it. Flash forward to 2020 and we have the sequel, and it's pretty similar, but now with an added stat system, create a character system that's quite involved, letting you pick race, job, sex, gender identity, gender presentation, hair length, fur color, belly, hip, butt sizes. None of it's visible, but it's represented in the text, and there's combat, a party system, and the partners you woo are now fully drawn. Because the only thing better than a text-based adventure game is a text-based adventure game with pictures. Rather than inputting prompts, you'll instead select options, making it much easier to control your experience, and it makes it much easier to know what you're doing and what your options are. This one is still early access and is being frequently updated, and with a diverse list of kinks that it leans into. Into minotaurs? They got 'em. Want to impregnate a fox lady? They got it, and it's in the trailer. Want to be pegged by a demoness with a horse cock? It's there too. However, it's very lore and text heavy, like books worth of text. So if you're looking for instant action, this isn't really it. For the patient, Cloud Meadow. Gooner games come in 2 types. The ones that make you work extra hard for the NSFW scenes, and the ones that give you them for doing literally anything. Die to a monster. Anal. Defeat a monster. Anal. Trip over a rock. Confusing anal. Cloud Meadow is on the hard work end of the spectrum, but it's worth it. The scenes are full animated in great detail with lots of straight, gay, lesbian, trans, and intersex scenes, with just as much variety in partners. But the game is played as a homesteading game. You're a farmer moving into town and you get a run-down farm for free. You know the story. You farm and build a relationship and you get to milk a dragon man. There's also breeding mechanics and you can see monsters breed or be bred by them yourself. You can see examples of the scenes on Steam. And I think once you see them, you're going to be hooked enough to want to try it. The game isn't all sexual content though. The game has a wide and varied cast of townspeople that you'll get to know pretty well, and all of them are very interestingly designed. Even boring humans have a lot of flair in their design in this game. The game is a pleasure to look at, even when you're not looking to pleasure yourself. There's also turn-based RPG combat with leveling and skill points, so if you were expecting Stardew with sex, you'll find a much deeper experience. Wink. I have to say it because I can't actually wink, it's really hard. It is, however, in early access, but updates semi-frequently with new stuff being added monthly to every few months. This game isn't here for a quick tug though. You'll be playing quite a while before you see much, but once you see the scenes, you'll see that they're worth the effort. Unfortunately, this game isn't very streamable despite sexual content being optional. There are loading screens with nudity on them, so as much as I'd like to stream the game, I'd have to do it in an adult site like Joystick. I do have an account there, so maybe that'll happen someday if the demand's high enough, because this is a fun enough game that I'd like to try and share it. If farming games aren't your thing though, this will do nothing to change your mind about the genre. You'll be doing a lot of farming, and it's not the best farming system that I've experienced. Some people in Steam reviews have said that they played for upwards of 10 hours with no adult scenes outside of monster breeding, so again, it's for the incredibly patient, even more patient than the readers. For ground floor gamers, delve into Potion. This is a very early access title, and this one is more of a recommendation for you to keep on your radar. Dip is a turn-based RPG game that plays like a very simplified version of Final Fantasy. The adult scenes come from quest rewards and are pretty decent. When I played the game last, it was only a few hours long, about 4 hours long, 2 areas, only 2 of the 4 available classes possible, 2 characters with adult scenes totaling up to 6 animations, but one is tentacles. The art is nice, and the combat is challenging. Like I said, I'm suggesting this one more based on its potential to be a really good game, but we may not see what that looks like for a few more years. This is a super underplayed and niche one though. Its release will definitely sneak up on you. It currently only has 60 reviews, and about 10% of buyers on Steam review games, so it has only around 600 buyers. I hope it has the funding it needs for future release though. For instant gratification and mad scientists. Kobold Care. Finally, a finished and released product. If the previous few games were too slow to get into the adult content, then this is a great game for you because it's immediate, frequent, and near non-stop. Kobold Care is a first-person homesteading game where instead of raising crops, you're mostly focusing on kobold husbandry. You'll breed kobolds, make new ones, and participate in the breeding yourself. And it's co-op. Bring the family along. Character customization is pretty on the fly, where you can change pretty much everything about yourself in a couple of minutes. The model design is surprisingly good because the animation easily supports adult scenes with tiny dinghies, all the way up to dongs of titanic proportions. You can easily make whatever kind of kobold with whatever body type you like, and you can use genetics to breed even more exaggerated proportions. I played this with Blythe and Rook in a live stream on Joystick, and we played for about 6 hours straight. It was one of those moments where it's like, oh, holy crap, it's 6 a.m. All of us were trying to make our own abominations. The funniest part is that it's Stream Deck compatible, which means someone at Valve had to play Kobold Care to confirm that it is in working condition. My Steam review sums it up pretty well. Recommended. At first, me, my wife, and boyfriend played this as a joke because of all the reviews. Then we got into it, and yeah, it's goofy, but it caters to a lot of kinks like size, weight gain, feeding, and you can get kobolds pregnant, regardless of their hookup, so gay people aren't forced to be straight to keep having more kobolds. I'd say it's like Chow Garden, except the racing and sumo minigames are replaced with boning, and the stats are your part sizes. As weird as it sounds, play with friends. You'll have a much better time. For the gamer of culture, Flip Witch, Forbidden Sex Hex. This one doesn't have a ton of furry content. There's demons, monsters, catgirls, a puppy boy, and the like, but the game is still good enough to mention. You play a witch who has the power to turn into a boy or a girl and fights with a magical star wand. The gameplay is pretty solid Metroidvania, where you'll platform and shoot stars at enemies to beat them. It's like an easier form of Mega Man, but with screen-filling bosses. Most adult scenes are rewards for quest completion, but there are still animation rewards for dying to certain enemies, as well as gacha systems for unlocking bonus scenes. The scenes are really worth it too, as the art is all very cute, but most of the scenes are unfortunately just straight or lesbian, so there isn't a ton of variety. The adult content is kind of tame, with most adventurousness coming from who your partners are, rather than the type of adult content it is. Like, you'll bang a variety of characters, but it never gets more adventurous than traditional intercourse like anal or oral, or a robot using a fucking machine on you. The music slaps though. It's all great, and it's so good. It's so good that I've been using it as the background music for all my videos for the past few years. It's all very funky and bloopy sounding. It's very good. This is one of those odd H games where you're playing it for the gameplay, but the animations are hot enough that they're also a nice bonus. It's a good mix of gameplay time to adult content being about 5 to 10 minutes between adult scenes. Faster if you're seeking it out. But that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and thanks to the patrons, YouTube members, and supers who help fund videos like this. So thanks again to Firework Penguin, Momentary Unicorn, Aurora the Puppy Moth, Sly, Nat, Selena, Marius, Yeenie, Worm Syrup, Brask, Verb, Beef, Bait, Sly again, Colorado Blue, Vaderson, Linky, Fasoku, Linky again, Spikejack, and Malting Brick. I'll see you all later. I have to practice typing one-handed.